And Russia's Vladimir Putin has put off a vote on constitutional reforms that would let him seek another term due to the coronavirus outbreak. The Russian leader having just addressed the nation on television, where he also asked the public to stay at home for the coming week. Watching his speech is Rob Parsons, our chief foreign editor. Rob, so that vote to change the constitution that would allow Putin to seek another presidential term is not going to happen.
Well, it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen on April the 22nd, as was originally planned. Vladimir Putin said, speaking directly to the Russian people, you know how important it was for me, it is for me to have this vote on the constitutional changes, but you will understand that given the circumstances in Russia at the moment and our need to respond to those circumstances to prevent the spread of coronavirus, we cannot allow it to take place on the planned date of April the 22nd, and it will be postponed now to a later unspecified date. This was, had been building up, I think, this speech from Vladimir Putin for the last 24 hours or so. So he had a meeting yesterday with his top health officials and the mayor of Moscow, Sergei Sobyanin, in Moscow being right at the epicenter of this outbreak in Russia, where it has to be said, at least according to the official figures, the scale of the pandemic is not so severe as elsewhere in Europe. So it was expected that something was coming in Russia, and he spoke a great deal about the need for Russians to get together and be prepared for tough measures to come, including from March the 28th to April the 5th, a lockdown in which only the most essential services will be allowed to go to work. Others will have to stay at home.
And his speech coming as the number of cases tripled overnight in Russia.
Well, precisely. I think this is what was behind the decision by Vladimir Putin to take tougher measures and to make this direct address to the Russian people. Tripled in the last 24 hours. Plus, I think his meeting with the mayor of Moscow, Sergei Sobyanin, was very important. Sobyanin said to him that he was pretty sure that not all the cases were being reported. That was, in other words, there's something slightly wrong with these figures that Russia's been getting, suggesting that Russia is coping with the crisis much better than any other country in the world, including Taiwan, which has been highly praised. Given the size of Russia, the fact that it borders so many countries, including, of course, China, with which borders were open until the end of January, it just doesn't make any sort of sense that the figures should be that low. So I think there is concern in Russia that the testing that they've been doing quite broadly as well, it has to be said, much more than the United States, for instance, but that it is not revealing the true depths of the crisis.
Rob Parsons, thank you.